What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for no daily news video, no transfer news, maybe a little bit, um, but just a video on Bremer. So we're gonna talk about Bremer. Um, we're gonna talk about the season this far for him. Ever since he joined, so not almost midway this season. Um, but before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and hit that bell notification. And yeah, let's get straight into what I want to talk about. Bremer. So that's obvious. The guy on the picture who joined from Torino in a deal where I think we were all not confused, but like overwhelmed of the moment. I would start with the lake leaving. Everybody knows last summer, the news kind of broke that the lake wants out, that he's in talks with first Chelsea, then Bayern, and then it took a while, because the price was not right. I don't want to go into that debate anymore about, have we undersell and undersold, blah blah blah, all those things. But it dragged on, but we knew at during those weeks that he's gonna leave, and we need to find a replacement, and that's where the stress began basically, because we were linked with some weird center backs. We were linked with Gabriel from Arsenal. We were linked with Acerbi. At times, it was not a good moment, And I'm not saying Gabriel from Arsenal is trash. But like personally, he's not my cup of tea. That's not what I want for my club. He can improve, but like at the time, every time I watch Gabriel, and still, like, I'm gonna say like 7 out of 10 games I watch, he makes an error where I'm like, what the hell are you doing over here? So I was scared. I'm like, no, you're selling the league. Bonucci is getting old. Rugani ain't it. We need someone who's ready made now. And we were talking about Bremer, but he was going to Inter. Everybody knows the story. Skriniar is gonna go to PSG, and they're gonna go for Bremer. Then the news broke. Boom, we're in. We're in for Bremer, and we are pushing to sign Bremer. But even at that time, the reports were still like, oh, no, he wants Inter, blah blah blah, all those things. And then we put the money on the table. I think very few people at the time were like, oh, that's a lot of money, because we needed a center back. Like, the season was about to start, preseason. We needed a center back. Not a lot of options out there. You were linked with Kimpembe and all these guys. Like, it was a weird period. And then we might or might not have overpaid for Bremer, but Torino knew we needed a defender. Inter were pushing. Torino took advantage of that, like a club should do, when there's a bidding war. And we got Bremer. And I remember the first game, or like it was a preseason game against Atletico. Everyone was crap in that game because we trained the same day, and then we turned up to play Atletico. They turned up, stepped off the plane, took the pitch, but like they wiped us off the field. And I remember that clip from Bremer going, doing the round on Twitter, where he was not informed. Like, so what? Like, you could have clipped all players for 3 minutes straight, and it would have looked comical. Then the season starts. He plays, and obviously he needed to adapt, and you can see that. I remember the Sampdoria game, like, where he made a glaring error, and I think Perin was in goal back then, right? He made an incredible save, to prevent us going down and probably lose that game, because we were horrendous that game. And he had some moments, but he also had some, oh my god, that's pure quality moments, And he needed to find his footing in this team. But then the last few months, or like the last few weeks, especially the last few games, that's the Bremer I think everybody was hoping for. I don't know which game it was. Was it the Inter game? I'm not sure. One of the games after the game, he came out saying, because he played in a back three at Torino. He said, Allegri not finally, but like he realized with the players available now, with the squad he has, playing in a back three is maybe the time, the way to move forward. That's what he said. And he in a back three, he looks amazing. He also added that in a back four, I can play, but I need to adapt. It's different. It's not a back three, but in a back three, he looks like an animal. Like he is hungry. Like he can step up that pitch extremely high, win that ball back. His positioning is spot on. He's just very difficult to get off the ball or like win a duel against. He's just pure quality the last few games, and the hope is now he picked up that injury, blah blah blah, all those things. Like the hope is now that he comes back and just picks it up because I do believe he has what it takes to be. And again, I'm not saying he's gonna stay for the next 10 years, but like he has the potential to be one of the best for us, in Europe. I actually believe that he has that potential to be one of the best center backs in Europe for the next 10 years and be at the club for the next 10 years. But you need to build around him. Like in the summer, I think it's becoming more and more clear that Bonucci's, time at the club, like actually playing time is diminishing. I think he knows that. I think Allegri realized that. Like he's benching him too much. Like in terms of too much in terms of that he doesn't understand that. I think he understands like, okay, we need to do something. He's playing even Danilo, but that's also not really the answer long term. You need to get a partner for him at the back, into the club, quality uh, around we can build for the next for the foreseeable future, for the next 5 to I don't know how many years. Because if you want to build a dynasty again, I think it starts with the back. Like if you're solid at the back, that's the first thing for me. Like you need to be solid, especially if you Allegri's coach. You need to be solid, and then you can build up that team. And he is one of those pieces, and he is unbelievable. Like I don't like a lot of players in the squad. I've said it many times. Like I cannot connect with them, and them winning 5 games in a row. It's not going to change that. I need much more. Like, I'm not going to change my stance on Allegri because of 5 games. I need much more. The season at this point is still a failure. It is what it is. But I can relate to Bremer a little bit. I actually like Bremer. The way he conducts himself, like he comes, he plays his game, and that's it. You don't hear anything about him. Not saying he doesn't need to do anything besides football. Like he just comes to play the game, and that's it. And he's just pure quality. And the last thing I want to add is he's going to the World Cup. There was a lot of fuzz about Gabriel didn't make that squad, blah blah blah, all those things. He's going to the World Cup, and I think he's going to play a lot. I'm not wishing injuries upon Thiago Silva, but I think it will happen, and I think Bremer will step up, and I think where that's his moment, and I think he will take that moment in terms of everybody will see, okay, he is that guy. He is that guy. And I do believe he will be that guy where it's like, oh my God, he's worth that money and teams are knocking on the door for him. Then it's, of course, up to us to make him stay. But the main question I want to ask you guys, and let me know in the comments, because that was something that was kind of a debate a few days ago on social media. Is he better than De Ligt? Now, I know it's a small sample size, so I will rephrase that question. Um, do you think he will be better than De Ligt for us in the club, long term, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever? Do you think he will have a bigger impact on the club, on that back line, than De Ligt has? That's the question I want to ask you guys, because it's important, because you replace him with you replace De Ligt with Bremer, so that's basically the main question. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. What do you think about Bremer? Because I believe he's been colossal in the last few weeks. He's immense. So very happy. But let me know in the comments what you think about the De Ligt question, because that was a debate. I want to know your stance. I will give my answer in one of the lives we're gonna do, where we're gonna talk about the season thus far. I will answer that question, so you can, stay tuned for that. I think it's gonna happen next week. Not sure, but probably next week. But yeah, let me know. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, hit that bell notification, and we will see you back tonight probably. Ciao.